Hey there, Bruce, and welcome back to the Game of Fortune. We're in the middle of Take a Hike, and Maria's just fallen in through the ice. So we have to decide whether we're going to help her or not. And we were told not to try and help anyone. Plus, Maria's pretty tough. She can handle it, right? Stay back. I gritted my teeth and fought against the urge to go in and try and help. If the ice around her was weak, chances were that I'd end up falling in too. Even so, there had to be something I could do, right? I looked around, wondering if maybe there was some tool or something I could use to help. I didn't see anything, but I did inspect the ice and notice that most of it was white compared to the rest of the lake, except for one particular spot that looked to be clear. Maria, try climbing out there. I pointed to the clear ice, and Maria quickly swam over to it, grabbing a hold of the stable ice and pulling herself out of the water. She gasped for air and flicked off stray bits of ice and water from her arms and legs. But we both knew how dangerous of a situation she was in. She was shivering, and even though she was quick to get on her feet, she clearly was trying to put on a brave face. "We got to get you out of the lake. Off the lake." "Yeah." She nodded, and I increased my pace. We rushed off the lake as fast as we could, and keeping our eyes peeled for any more weak points in the ice. Fortunately, Kishi's route seemed to be completely safe, and we were able to get off the lake without an issue. Once we were on dry land again, I took off my jacket and began to rub Maria's skin so she'd dry off faster. "Here, let me help you take off your shoes and socks and stuff." Why would you do that? You need to take off your wet clothes, don't you? You're basically wearing ice right now. I don't have any spares. Do you want to freeze? No, but just cover yourself with my coat, at least for the time being. That's better than what you've got now. Fine. Just before Maria was going to take off her wet clothes, Kishi came over from the tent. "Hey, can you two hurry over here? You'll end up freezing if you stick around the lake. It's actually a lot warmer by the tent. And let's get her there." We rushed Maria over toward the tent. Oddly enough, everything started to feel warmer. The air no longer had frigid wind chills. The snow and ice had melted into a slushy mud-like mix, and the snowfall had quickly relented into a light drizzle that was barely noticeable. The difference between the weather by the tent and the weather by the lake was so stark it was like walking into a different room. Not that I minded. The warmer weather would probably mean that Maria wouldn't be a big risk for hypothermia or any other cold-related injuries. When we finally got to the tent, I realised it was much bigger up close than it appeared from afar. Outside of the tent, there were changes of clothes for each of us and towels, but the tent itself was odd. The only entrance to the tent appeared to be closed and locked behind some kind of screen. While Maria was warming herself up and changing into warmer clothes, I had looked over the weird lock on the tent. How do we open the tent? Laura and I tried opening it earlier, but it looks like we need to vote in order to open it. Look at the screen. I took a look at the screen and saw that it had icons for each of our faces. There was also one check mark underneath Laura and Kishi's icons. Tap under your icon and I think it counts for voting, and whoever gets the most votes is allowed inside the tent. And the others? Kishi shrugged. I guess we just keep on walking. I looked at the screen and saw that there was a bit of text toward the bottom. Votes needed for access, 3. Whoever enters the tent may not be allowed to leave until the game's completion. Survival supplies will be included for the rest of the game's duration. I guess that means someone needed 3 votes in order to be able to enter the tent. That's what I guess, yeah. Alright, makes sense. And when they get in, they're able to stay in as long as they want, right? With all the food and supplies they need. So I guess Belle really doesn't want anyone to leave. That seems to be the case. Speaking of, where's Laura? I don't see her around anywhere. She went to change somewhere else. She did fall waist deep in the water after all. But we did play around with the screen before she went off to do that. I see. Just as we spoke, Maria and Laura walked up behind us, drier and warmer than I had been before. Speaking of the devil, we were just thinking about the tent and all. We have to vote for these things, don't we? Something like that anyway. Yep. Whoever gets 3 votes will be allowed to go in the tent. Then all we have to do is vote and decide, right? That seems to be the case. So with that said, anyone really care who gets to stay behind? It should be obvious we're basically voting on who gets to live. Well, if that's that easy, I don't mind sitting it out this time. I like hiking around. We fell into freezing water. And now I'm dried up, all warm. All's well that ends well. If it were up to me, I'd vote for Laura to stay in the tent. Oh, thank you, I appreciate it. But I'm a little curious as to why. I don't know, no real reason, I guess. You seem really nice, so I figured you'd be okay with just sticking back here is all. Oh, is it pity then? No, I don't pity you or anything. I think you're really cool. I mean, you know all about that stuff about walking on ice, and you probably could handle going on just as well as anyone else here. I figured maybe it's best that you stay behind, or I guess it's really about getting you to the next round. Thank you, I really appreciate that. Of course, I'd have to get everyone else to agree with you, or really just one actually, since I'd probably just vote for myself if you're okay with it. I don't have a problem with it. Yeah, I'm fine with it too. Honestly, I was going to suggest the same thing as Maria, but I probably wouldn't have been as tactful with the reasoning. What's there to be tactful about? Well, if you want my honest opinion, I figured that you'd probably not do so well later on. Hey, I'm very good at hiking. I might not be able to handle the cold all that well, but even so. That's not what I meant. Then what do you mean? Don't worry about it. Just be happy you'll be able to move on to the next game. Okay, I suppose I shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. Right, anyway, Devon, you okay with this too, right? I mean, you're outnumbered if you're not, but I figured I'd ask anyway. I'm fine with it. I don't really have any reason not to be. Aside from wanting to save my own ass, but there'd be future opportunities for that as well. Cool. We'll go ahead and vote then. Kishi, Maria, and Laura all touched the screen on the tent. The flap opened up, but red lasers popped down from it, keeping anyone from entering. Hold on, ain't this supposed to let Laura in? Maybe we're too close. Kishi, Maria, and I took a few steps back and the lasers went away. Guess you were right. I suppose this is where we say goodbye for now. What are you talking about? You'll still be able to talk with us. Just use your phone thingy. Oh yeah, I guess I can still text you, alright. She pulled out the phone-like device and tapped away at it before smiling at us. Did you all get the message I just sent? We all checked and were greeted with Laura's message. This is a test. Yep, looks like we did. Great, then I guess I'll leave you three to it. Good luck. Laura entered the tent, and once she did, the flap closed down again and locked up. She should be well supplied in there, so there wasn't much else to worry about. At least not with her. No, I just had to worry about my own life. Speaking of, I guess we just have to keep going down the path that Belle paved for us. Yep, it's probably going to get a lot hotter from here on out. I saw a sign warning about the sweltering conditions further up ahead while I was getting changed. Is that why things are warmer around here? That's my guess. We went through the ice and now we're going to go through the desert. It's just a guess though. I hope it's true though. I'm better geared towards hot weather. Ugh, I'm going to have to ditch this jacket if that's the case. It'll make for a good sweat rag. Ugh, don't call it that. I don't want to lug around some sweat-soaked jacket. I'm just teasing, it probably won't be that bad. Coming from the person who fell into the frigid lake, I'd hate to see what you consider bad. Guess we'll find out. Come on, let's go. Maria continued down the path and we followed behind her. Just as she said, a sign showed up noting that conditions would be getting warmer and drier, and it didn't take long for the landscape to reflect that either. The cold air became temperate and then hot. The light drizzle began to let up, and the sun began to shine with a fierce intensity. The ground started to become rough, the dirt slowly transitioning into sand. We went from a tundra to a desert. It was hard to believe that they were anywhere near some frigid lake with blistering snow, and honestly, I sort of missed it. The cold was miserable, but the heat was killing me. Oh, I hate this. Really? I think we're making great progress. That's because you're in shorts and probably are used to sweating bucket loads on the daily. I am not. She's right, you got some supernatural endurance, you know. Well, I guess, to me a little hardship isn't the end of the world. Something like a blazing heat or frigid cold is a mountain to climb over. Shut up, you're gonna jinx us and make us walk up over a mountain. Alright, I'll try not to give us any bad luck. Better not. You know, in hindsight, maybe we should have taken some snow with us. Melted water would be good right about now. I'm more annoyed about the sand getting in my shoes. Worst thing in the world. Yeah, I hate sand. Come on, you two, there's no need to be so glum. Especially since it looks to be an oasis over the horizon. Please tell me you're not joking or having a hallucination because of the heat. Take a look for yourself if you don't believe me. Maria pointed over the sandy dunes and I saw a spot where a few trees were growing over a small water source. Perfect, my throat is dry as hell. Same, come on, let's go. My feet need a break. Oh my god, it's beautiful. We hurried over toward the oasis and felt relief as the temperature seemed to lower just enough to feel a rush of relief. The water seemed to be fresh, cool and safe to drink, and we took some time to collect ourselves. As I lay down in the rough grass, I saw Kishi was texting, who I assumed was Laura. She had an intense look on her face as she tapped her fingers on the screen. You alright, Kishi? Huh? Oh yeah, I'm fine. Just talking with Laura about a few things. Must be some intense stuff if you got that scowl on your face. Do you text Zeph like that too? Only when he pisses me off. Well, maybe you should relax a bit. I'm sure he wouldn't want to know you got all worked up. I'll be fine. Thanks for the concern. Kishi put her phone away and sat down by the edge of the water, splashing her face slightly and leaning back into her hands. At least it's nice to get a few relaxing spots here after all the walking. Yeah, it's got just the right atmosphere. The atmosphere for gossip. Oh no. So how did you and Zeph meet anyway? I'm kind of curious. It's a bit of a weird thing to ask now, don't you think? Maybe a little, but I'm still kind of curious. He seems a bit more on the energetic side, and you're more chill. Opposites attract, though. I'm sure that Zeph would say that I'm the more energetic one, that he's the chill guy. But to answer your question, we met at a hospital. What? Yeah, not the ideal place to meet your boyfriend, but the world works in weird ways. He'd gotten into a nasty accident that day, and my grandmother made me go check up on him. Your grandma made you go check up on someone in the hospital? Oh, was he some kind of family friend? Well, not a family friend, more of an associate, I guess. He was meant to do some business for us, and because of it, he got hurt. So I was meant to smooth things over in case he wanted some kind of payment for the damages and stuff. You were just like some kind of agent then, paying him off if he threatened to sue you or something. I was an intern. At least that's what my grandma said my title was. All I really did was check up on him and make sure that he was fine. From there we ended up talking and got to know one another. We hung out some more, and after that, the rest is history. That's it? Come on, you gotta tell us more of the fun details than that. You asked for how we met. You didn't ask for anything more than that. Anyway, let's get going. No point in wasting our time here more than we should. Yeah, otherwise Belle might send a sandstorm our way. Please don't say things like that. I won't. I mean, we did. Still, it's kind of weird how relatively peaceful everything is. I figured that Belle would have added some traps or something kind of difficult. The lake was pretty bad, but otherwise it's not been that stressful, really. Kishi raised an eyebrow at me as she stood up and walked back toward the sandy trail. Do you really mean that? Yeah, I mean, things have been calm, don't you think? Yeah, but that's the point. The whole trick of this game, it's not really meant to kill you physically. It's a psychological thing. What do you mean? These long walks, the pleasant talks, it's all meant to mess with your head. I don't get it. Really? Well, I guess that's kind of a good thing. Peace of mind is useful here. She began walking down the trail again, leaving me confused as to what she meant. Was there something I was missing? Don't worry too much about it. I'm with you on this one. I'd rather a game like this than one where we'd have to end up murdering one another with knives or something. Yeah, me too. So what did she mean then? Was there some trick of this game I was missing? I tried to brush the ominous feelings off my shoulders and just focused on hurrying through this godforsaken desert. We caught up with Kishi, and after a few more minutes of walking, we managed to spot a tent in the distance, this time without any dangerous tricks or traps. Thank God, this damn heat was going to be the end of me. Well, don't you worry, relief is coming. As we approached the tent, we found that it was the same as the last one. Locked off until we each put a vote in for who could enter. I'm going to guess that Kishi's going in this time. The only difference this time around was that only 2 votes were needed to enter inside. Guess they're going based purely on majority, more than 50% of the vote. Ain't a problem. We don't need to squabble too much, right? Let's hope. I'll make it easy. I don't mind going along with another trip, so one of you two can stay around. That means you'll decide whether it's Devon or myself that ends up staying around here. Yep, I mean, unless you two can decide among yourselves who should stay behind. I mean, personally, I'd like to stay back now if I can, but I'm sure that Devon feels the same way, right? I mean, it guarantees my safety, right? Just about, yeah. Guess it would be pretty hard to pick between the two of you. Either of you have a coin to flip or something? Nope. No. Okay, how about this? Rock, paper, scissors? I'll think of a number between 1 and 2. Whoever gets it, gets my vote. Totally fair and even. Nah, that'll just make the loser really irritable. Kishi turned to me and then back toward the tent. Devon, if you want to stay, then you can stay. That's the least I could do, I guess, considering what happened in the game before. It was awfully kind of her to offer, and I could choose to simply stick with the safe route and get in the tent now, or give it to her, maybe as a sign of good faith. But if I did that, I might not be able to assure myself a chance for survival in the future. What should I do? She's literally doing it so that we'll say, oh no, you do it, you go. That's what she means by it's a psychological thing. We're meant to feel bad for her because she's being nice to us or whatever, and then give her the tent. No, fuck you. I'll take the tent. Kishi nodded and then looked to Maria. Alright, then you'll stay here and Maria and I will go on ahead. Right. Hey, don't look so glum. We're just looking out for you. Won't be the last time that we get to talk with you either. So don't worry, alright? Right. Why did my stomach tighten into a knot? I knew this would lead to my safety. I was being given a choice and yet I still felt uneasy. Maybe I was just being nervous. Kishi and Maria tapped on the screen of the tent and opened it up, allowing me to enter. I carefully looked inside, seeing that there was plenty of food and water to last me for a little bit. Though there wasn't much for entertainment, not that I'd really need it. If I stayed here, I'd be fine, right? There wasn't any reason not to go and just wait it out. So why was I hesitating? Something in the back of my mind said to keep going, to keep pushing forward. That was the best outcome. That it was the best outcome, but I didn't know why. I turned to look at Kishi and Maria, who seemed to be just as confused at my hesitation as I was. Hey, is it okay if I still come along? Wait, really? Yeah, we're giving you the tent. Don't you want it? I know. It's just... Wouldn't it work out better if I came along? What do you mean? Well, Laura's tent needed a majority of 3 votes. This one needed a majority of 2 votes. Will the next one need 2 votes as well? I mean, if it's a majority, it should be 2, right? You can't get, like, 1.5 votes, right? In that case, it'd probably be whoever got 2 votes. So Maria and I would need to decide who'd get to stay in that particular tent then. And what about the last tent? Well, if it's a majority out of 1 person, then it should probably be just 1 vote, right? So as long as that person can make it to the last tent, they'll be fine, right? I guess that makes sense. See? Nothing to fear. Maybe I was just being paranoid. Oh, you don't have to say that, Devon. I get it. Huh? You just couldn't stand the idea of leaving my side. I'm charmed, really. Sure, Maria. I wouldn't want to miss spending more time with you. Well, who am I to say no? Tag along. It'll be easier to chat with you around. Not that anything's wrong with you, Kishi. It's just... Kishi? Huh? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Anyway, if you want to tag along, Devon, I won't stop you. I mean, you can always just walk your way back, can't you? Thanks. Guess I just want to see how far I can go. That's the spirit. Let's get a high score on this game. There aren't any high scores, but sure. Wouldn't Kishi be annoyed? Because she can't stay now? We moved on past the tent and continued down the trail. Soon the climate began to shift. While the temperature was still high, we began to see grass growing along the ground, along with a sharp increase in humidity. After a few minutes, we came across another sign. Wetland ahead. Beware of wildlife. Oh, that would explain why things got so humid. Hopefully we don't have to wade through any swampy water. If we do, it'll be fine. We'll get spare clothes, I bet, at the next tent. What about the weird creatures and bugs and gross things that are in the swamps? You mean like alligators? No, I mean like leeches and mosquitoes. And Kishi shivered at the mere thought while Maria laughed and gave her a pat on the shoulder. Well, turns out Kishi's scared of bugs. I'm not scared, it's just they're gross. Who wants to wade around in nasty swamp water? Maria couldn't help but keep teasing Kishi as we walked along the trail. Soon enough, the air became unbearably heavy, and mosquitoes and gnats seemed to swarm around us. Ugh, this sucks. I hate dealing with bugs. You're telling me. They keep biting me. Belle didn't give us any damn insect repellent. Buck up, Kishi. We're probably halfway there, and I'm sure Belle will give us some kind of cream for that silky smooth skin of yours. I'm sure Zeph would be disappointed to see it all red and irritated. That's not funny. It's a little funny. Do you want my jacket? It's hot, but at least you'll be able to cover up your arms. Yeah, give it to me. Stupid things are biting the hell out of my legs, but at least it'll help a little. Kishi quickly put on my jacket and tried to cover up as much of herself as possible. You're going to be sweating a ton if you wear that the whole way. Well, what's the alternative? Power through the pain? You want to talk, your arms are covered up. True, but I'm still getting bitten up too. But it's just a few bites here and there, it isn't really that annoying. You've got an inspiring amount of willpower, you know. I'm pretty amazing, aren't I? What's with that look? You've been through a lot, huh? Well, I can say I've been through a fair bit of hardship here and there, but I'm still here, so you can say I'm definitely tough as nails. Are you here for your mother? Maria tensed up suddenly as she looked away for a moment before looking back at Kishi. You Digits of Eden people know just about everything about us, don't you? Well, it was really just a guess. Just stuff my grandma brought up. A guess, huh? Was it really a guess, or did you know the whole time? I mean, you should know. It was your grandma that gave us the clearance to be here, after all. I'm sure that she filled you in on the details for why we wanted to be here, right? True, but people could lie about their motivations and reasonings all the time. Certainly wouldn't be the first time that my grandma got screwed over like that. Well, I don't have a reason to lie to you. Me and Al are here for my mum, just like you said. And that's why I got a serious determination to see it through to the end. I guess that's fair. I don't know. I guess if I were in your shoes, I'd be more angry? Well, there certainly is some lingering anger, but what can you do? You could do a lot of things. Well, yeah, but those are bad ideas. Sorry to cut in, but I got no idea what the heck you two are talking about. Oh, sorry, Devon. Didn't mean to get caught up in the middle of all that. I gathered. Do you two have a history? Us two? Well, not really. Not anything deep, anyway. I guess I knew about Maria, but I never really talked with her or anything like that. I basically only knew that Kishi was here. Here was the granddaughter of one of the Digits of Eden's leaders. Aside from that, though, we don't really have any connections. You're the granddaughter of one of the Digits of Eden leaders? Well, it's not all that important. Yes, it is. You probably got some first-hand information on stuff, right? Like this game, and how it works, and how things like that, right? Yeah, I'm sure that Kishi knows a lot of things. A lot of things. I don't like the way you said that. Well, it's true though, you're in a special position here. You probably got spoon-fed all the useful information on everyone here, I bet. After all, no way that grandma would send her darling granddaughter into these deadly games without some info, right? Kishi averted her eyes for a moment, but I could see the tension and annoyance written all over her face. Yeah, that's true. Why don't skimp on the details? If there's anything useful that you can tell us, some way we can all survive or something like that. Oh yeah, that's real simple. All you have to do is win the game. Wow, real helpful information there, Kishi. Sounds like I'm just pulling your leg, but I'm serious. You want to survive? You want us all to survive? I mean, yeah, I do. Then you just have to give it your all to win every game you can. You have to fight with all your being to survive in every game so that you make it to the end. You'll have to take my word for it. If you need motivation, think about this. You win, you can wish for Clyde to come back to life. Hitting me right where it hurt the most. Or where it motivated me the most. I could wish for Clyde to come back, couldn't I? Couldn't I? The confusion frayed my brain for a moment as I tried to figure out what it all meant. The thought, however, was jolted out of my head as I felt myself getting grabbed by the neck and reeled backwards. Hey, don't doze off there. You're about to walk right off the trail and into the swamp. Thanks. Sorry, got lost in thought there. No problem. No, we might have another problem on our hands. Maria pointed ahead of us where the trail seemingly ended, or rather, it seemed to lead us toward a boggy part of the swamp. The trail seemed to continue further ahead. By the looks of things, we were going to have to wade through the water. Oh, come on. Please don't tell me we're going to have to go through that. Don't worry, it's not that far, Kishi. It won't be that bad. But I don't wanna. Come on, Kishi, we're not going to get anywhere complaining. Besides, if I'm going through it with you, you just have to make this trip twice. If you can't do that, you can make it at least once. Fine. Maria was the first one to enter into the water. It seemed that it only went up to about her chest. And it's pretty deep. Wow, it's a lot warmer than I thought it would be. Ew, don't say that. It's like a bath, come on. Water's fine, Kishi. Devon, you go next. I don't want to go if there's something in there. And you think I'd be better bait? Not bait, just... I need to make sure it's safe. Alright, I'm going. I entered into the water and, well, it felt weird, that was for sure. Like I was wading through a disgusting soup. See? Water's nice and safe. Come on in, Kishi. Oh god, oh god. Kishi reluctantly entered into the water. Gross, this is so gross. Let's just go, please. Alright, let's go. As fun as it is seeing Kishi squirm like a worm, it's probably best to get through this fast. You don't have to tell me. We continued wading through the marshy water. While it was uncomfortable, it didn't seem to be dangerous. Though Kishi would disagree. Ugh, something just brushed up against my leg. You sure you're not just over... I'm not overreacting. Kishi quickly started rushing through the water, trying to get to the other side. Hey, calm down, it was probably just a fish. It wasn't a fish, I felt coiling around my leg. Oh no, maybe it was a spooky swamp eel. Or maybe a snake. That's not funny. Look out, Kishi, a big spooky swamp eel's coming to get you. Maria splashed some water at Kishi, who immediately became irate and splashed back. Stop playing around, Maria. I don't want to get bitten by anything. You mean this? Maria looked at the water and pulled out a turtle? Watch out, Kishi, this little guy's going to nibble on your legs. Kishi could only stare for a few seconds before furrowing her brow. It could have been a snake. Yeah, I guess it could have. Oh boy, you're right sometimes, Kishi. Didn't think you'd get so spooked over a little turtle. Shut up. I don't like swamps. Huh. Swamps. I looked around the water and looked around at the trees. Are you sure this is a swamp and not a marsh? Huh? Like, don't swamps have more trees? This is more of a marsh, don't you think? Why are you looking at me like that? I guess it was unexpected. Didn't know you so learned about swamps and stuff. I'm not. I just sort of knew. I don't know. Felt like a flashbulb sort of thing. Maybe I heard about it before. Did I really? It just felt so weird. Yeah, I guess that's possible. Anyway, we're just about out of here. I think I can see a tent further up, so we can finally get out of here. Thank God. I don't think I can handle another minute of this. As fun as it is teasing Kishi, I want to get into some better clothes than... We all turned our heads to see a pair of eyes jutting out right behind us. It was obvious to all of us that they were the bloodthirsty eyes of a crocodile. Or an alligator. Is that it? Kishi didn't bother answering, he just made a blitz toward the shore. Her flailing seemed to be enough to get the crocodile to chase after us. Okay, playtime's over. That's an actual crocodile. Shit. I scrambled through the water trying to reach the shore. So close, so close. Piercing pain shot across my leg, and I turned to see that the croc had managed to grab a hold of my leg just as I was about to reach the shore. With one fierce tug, it pulled me back into the water. There was no way that I could fight back against that thing, and it was already spinning me around in the water. I couldn't get my bearings, and the pain in my leg intensified each time it spun me around. Panic began to well up in me as I felt my mind going into overdrive. I didn't want to die here, not to some stupid crocodile. To survive, I had to... try to roll with it? I quickly tried to grab a hold of the crocodile's mouth just so that I could spin along with it. It was disorienting, but at least rolling along with it kept it from tearing my leg off. I seemed a little fatigued, or at least enough that it wasn't flailing around in the water anymore. After a few seconds of spinning, the croc seemed to stop, giving me a few seconds to strike it in the face as it recovered. But even with punches, the damn thing wouldn't let go of me. The stupid thing is stubborn, and now it's angry. Let go of it, you dumb lizard. Maria had leapt back into the water and was battering the crocodile in the face with some kind of wooden club. Maybe it's just a big stick. Either way, she didn't let up against the croc and kept striking it with wild abandon like I'd never seen before. And it seemed to be working, just enough for the croc to let go of me. I didn't waste any time hobbling over toward the edge of the marsh before collapsing onto the ground. Come on, you're gonna be okay. Kishi appeared and dragged me further away from the water's edge. Don't worry, Devon. I got it handled. And just as she said that, the crocodile snapped and grabbed a hold of Maria's arm. Maria! Ah, you stupid... I watched as Maria, in a fit of rage, smashed the stick into splinters against the crocodile's head in a single strike. Apparently it was enough to deter the crocodile back into the depths as it released its grip on her arm. Though Maria didn't want to tempt fate and quickly made her way back over to the land. Finally, it seemed that the threat had disappeared, though we still had our wounds to deal with. Stupid crocodiles. Pain in the goddamn ass. She held onto her arm, trying to stop the bleeding before looking over to me. Christ almighty, Devon, your leg looks fucked up. Wow, I never would have guessed. It's not like I just get mauled by a goddamn crocodile. Though, now that I was looking at my leg, it was definitely a mess. My jeans were torn up, blood was oozing from various wounds, not to mention the surge of pain that was pulsing across my leg now that the adrenaline had worn off. You able to stand up? I don't know, let me see. Kishi and Maria supported me as I cautiously stood up and carefully put some pressure on my injured leg. I was at least able to stand on my own. It seemed that my foot was uninjured through the whole ordeal. Well, that's a good sign. I'm more worried about your thigh, though. She looked over at the bloody mess that the crocodile had ravaged. It might be broken, and even if it isn't, I wouldn't want a wound like that to get worse by prolonged walking. I don't think it's broken. I mean, it hurts a lot, but I don't remember feeling anything like anything snapped or broke. Really you got bit by a crocodile and you don't think the thing snapped your bones at all? Those things eat bigger and tougher things for breakfast. Okay, I guess you got a point. Well, it'd be easy to tell if I could inspect the wound. Here, lean on me. Let's get you over toward the tent. There might be something inside that can help. Okay. With Maria and Kishi's help, I was able to hobble over toward the nearby tent. Unsurprisingly, there was a change of clothes again for us. But not only that, there were medical supplies too. Bandages, disinfecting agents, pain medication, just about anything you'd expect from a field medic. Were we always supposed to get attacked by a crocodile? Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Belle put this here to make us keep going. Maybe she really did mean for us to get attacked, and this is a way for us to take care of ourselves. What an arsehole. Who designs a hike where you're supposed to get attacked? Belle, obviously. Okay, yes, but that's just so rude. Anyway, let me get a better look at your leg. Maria got some scissors from the medical supplies and snipped away at my jeans so she could get a better look at the wound on my leg. Okay, while you do that, I'm going to get changed. Again. Shouldn't you also make sure your arm's okay? I'm fine. The thing just nipped me. Didn't even use its full bite force. Trust me, I don't know if my arm was broken. It's probably just a flesh wound. She gave a thumbs up with her hand before looking over my leg closely. Oh, there's some swelling. The obvious bite marks. Definitely bruised at least. And some bleeding. Maria, I know you mean well, but that's not as reassuring as you think it is. Well, I'm going to be frank with you, Devon. It doesn't look good. But I can tell that it doesn't look broken. So let me try and clean up the wound a bit, and then we'll see if you can walk on it. Maria walked back over toward the medical supplies and grabbed a bunch of things before sitting right beside me. Kishi, can you come over here real quick? Kishi had gotten changed into another set of clothes and she walked over to us. What's up? Devon looking okay? Mostly, aside from what you'd expect after a croc attack. I see you to hold her hand while I disinfect the wound. You need me to hold her hand? Oh yeah, it's going to hurt like a motherfucker, so she's probably going to flail around a bit. Give us some support, will you? Is it going to be that bad? Well, it certainly ain't going to feel good. Well, alright. After Kishi held my hand, Maria began to dab some alcohol onto the gauze pad and began to wipe around the wound. Ow, that fucking stings. Ow, stop gripping my hand so hard. Bear through it, Devon. You're tough enough. It only hurts the first time. She wiped again. Despite her assurance, it did in fact still hurt. But I guess it wasn't as bad the second, third or fourth time. Kishi, on the other hand, looked miserable having her hands squeezed each time. but after enough wiping, she started to bandage up the wound and wrapped it up properly to keep it from bleeding. There, that ought to do it. God, don't know what I would have done if my hand... I don't know if I'd have a hand if this kept up any longer. Sorry. It's fine, I'm sure that it hurt like hell. Anyway, Devon, can you try standing on your own? Maybe even taking a few steps? I cautiously stood up, and while there was definitely a sharp pain in my leg, it didn't stop me from standing up straight. I was even able to take a few awkward steps, though it was more like I was limping around than actually walking. It's kind of amazing that you're still able to move around. I mean, I know your leg wasn't broken, but being able to walk after something like that is amazing. It's kind of unbelievable, actually. Did it not bite you that hard? It definitely felt like it was biting hard. Huh. Well, let's see if I can at least find you a good walking stick so you can walk a little easier. Walk? You think she's in any condition to keep on going? Well, I mean, she can stand and limp a little. We might be able to go a little slower, but we can keep going, can't we? Maria, she was just attacked by a crocodile. You can't possibly expect her to finish the last leg of this hike. I mean, if she can keep going, she can keep going. That's up to her, though. I'm more worried about if she tries to head back down on her own that she'll get attacked again and won't be able to defend herself. What if she keeps going like she is now and she gets attacked again? Or something else happens? Then we'll be there to help her, of course. That's why we're all going together, yeah? You're just putting her in unnecessary danger. We don't know if the next part will be dangerous, and we'll be there to help her out. We don't need to drag her along, just... Oh, right, Devon's here. Let's just ask her. Do you want to keep going, Devon, or do you want to head back? Devon, you don't have to push yourself to prove anything, you know. No, I just kind of feel bad. I thought I'd be able to tough it out to the end, but it seems that I'm just being a burden. You're not a burden. That crocodile could have attacked anyone. If it were just me and Kishi, then the chances are it would have gotten one of us. So you're saying that my usefulness has just been croc bait? That's not what I was trying to say. Like, bad things happen. But you came all this way with us because you were worried about the voting numbers and stuff, right? It takes serious grit and determination, and who knows? You might be able to help us out because of it. Grit and determination are fine, but you have to remember that she's also got to look out for herself. It won't matter how much grit and determination you have if you're a broken corpse at the end of this. I want to keep going. I don't want to be a burden. I want to see this to the end. If anything, I just want to prove that no matter what the hell Belle throws at me, I can make it. I can do it. Now that's the spirit. Stick it to Belle. She ain't going to scare us into quitting. Besides, I don't want to have to walk through the swamp again right now. The croc might still be around. Oh yeah, good point. Well, in any case, let me go and clean myself up real quick and get changed too. Plus, my arm's still in bad shape, so I could probably get that checked out too. Kishi? Kishi? What is it? You just had a blank stare on your face. Is something bothering you? Oh. She hesitated for a moment and averted her eyes from me. Just for a moment. It's nothing. Sure doesn't sound like nothing. Don't worry about it. Here. She handed me my phone and the tablet-like device. They're in your old jacket. Figured you'd want them. Yeah, probably gonna need to change out of these swampy-ass clothes anyway. Right, do you need help getting dressed? Probably. Just with the jeans. I think I can handle everything else on my own. Sure, let me help out then. Alright, with that, we're gonna wrap this one up here because we're out of time for today. But we're still alive. Despite crocodile attack, we're still going. And we are going to make it to the end and get Devon's ending. At least that's the plan. Although I don't know what the angle is on this game. Like, are the people in the... I know you're meant to survive if you get in the tent, but is it the tent people that are going to die or something? Something told Devon not to stay in the tent. So, I'm figuring the tents are probably not safe. Anyway, I guess we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, Bruce, and I'll see you then.